Hello people, this is the Tame Dave Movie Dave with a new definition of critic. And today I'm reviewing Star Trek. Now, this review is partially coming from a Trekkie's point of view, since I grew up watching Star Trek and not Star Wars like most other people. So I'm pretty much a die-hard Trekkie. I've seen all the TV series, most of the movies. I haven't really seen most of the movies from the original series, but I've seen the ones from Next Generation and so on. So, this just explores the origins of Captain James T. Kirk and Spock. It goes around the storylines of that. I'm not gonna go through the whole story, it's a bit long. Well, I kind of went through a lot of trouble to see this movie, because, well, me and my friends, we traveled to, 2 different theaters just to find a showing that wasn't sold out. And I was dying to see this in IMAX, but we ended up having to see it on this, really, not small screen, but lower than average, a bit smaller than average. So the effect wasn't really that good. But I still felt absorbed into this world, this futuristic world, and see, there's been so much positive hype about this movie from critics and users alike, but see, the ones that seem to be disappointed are the Trekkies, and well, all I can basically say is this is a great sci-fi movie. Excellent. The visuals are fantastic. The acting is great. I felt absorbed into this world. Dialogue was pitch perfect. Classic Star Wars dialogue. I mean, you gotta really be a Star Wars fanatic to, appreciate the dialogue. But my main problem is that, though this was a great sci-fi movie, this was not a good Star Trek movie. It tried to capture the feel of Star Trek, and they kind of did, but it doesn't really remind you of Star Trek in general. It wasn't very exciting. I didn't feel myself on the edge of my seat. In fact, the only reason I was on the edge of my seat is because I had to sit in the front, since all the seats were taking, and I couldn't really sit back and look up, so I just had to lean on my seat. So that's the only reason I was on the edge of my seat, but there was nothing really exciting in the movie. There were some nice action sequences, I like that. But overall, it wasn't very exciting. The acting, my favorite character, I love all the characters. I love Chekhov was really good. Scotty was good. I think they didn't have enough Scotty in it. Not enough at all. They should have done more. Sulu, I liked Sulu a lot. He was really surprising for me. He had a bigger role than I thought he would. That was really McCoy. That was played out flawlessly. Spock from Zachary Quinto, from you may know him as Sylar from Heroes. He did a very good job playing Spock, as well did I forgot his name, but I think he played Kirk. See, I wasn't used to seeing this rebel Kirk, so yeah, it was kind of a surprise for me. Also, I don't think this is a spoiler, but also Leonard Nimoy is in the movie for actually not just a brief cameo. This is for a good, he has at least 10, 11 minutes in the movie, so he has a pretty good role in it. Great. I won't spoil anything, but he had a bigger role than I thought he would do. So overall, this was a great sci-fi movie. But, okay, I'm going to give 2 ratings this time. This is something I rarely do. I'm going to review, so I'm trying to give a rating if this wasn't a Star Trek movie, if it was regular sci-fi, and as a Star Trek movie. As a Star Trek movie, at the most, this gets maybe a 6.5, at the most. But, you know what, hold on, let's pause my reviews. I want to talk about the visuals. The visuals were great. I couldn't, literally orgasmic. They were so flawlessly done, so much action. You never saw much, you're how can you do, these cool action sequences with this huge huge ass ship that like you have to try hard to turn the fucking thing. No, this was like flawless action, better than the Star Wars visuals. I mean, you had a better feel to it. I mean, maybe the Star Wars was a bit quick paced, the action scenes, but the ships and stuff. But this was more quick. Maybe it was quick paced, but this was more. It was better. I don't know. The visuals, the movie seemed to shine altogether. It's from J.J. Abrams. You may know him from Lost, Cloverfield. Great director. I love what he's done. The cinematography, see, the movie shines. The colors are beautiful. What they do with this movie, it really revives the feel of Star Trek. I mean, somehow it gives you a classic feel, but at the same time, it brings you into the new era. And that's something I rarely see. Now, apart from all this what I'm trying to say is, even see the action, it kind of got repetitive with the ships, but just a bit. That's my only problem. But as much as I'm giving it positive reviews, okay, so now on to my 2 ratings. Sci-fi and Star Trek. As a Star Trek, this movie, I'm actually planning to see this movie again, maybe, because I saw this at a really late showing, since it was the only one that wasn't sold out. So I was not half asleep, but I don't know. I kind of got confused with the plot a bit, because sometimes I wasn't paying attention. It's not entertaining, but some parts I wasn't paying attention enough to, or it was a bit confusing. So I'm gonna probably see this again, and maybe give a little update, maybe. But for what I saw, great sci-fi. Okay, so Star Trek review. Star Trek, this would get maybe okay, maybe I'm being generous, like really generous, but I'm giving this a 7 for a Star Trek film, maybe a 7. I wanted to give this a 6.5, but I'm being generous. This is a 7 at the most. I don't know. I mean, come on, the positive hype. You know you're going to want to see this. You might not listen to me at all. And I don't care, I mean, honestly. Because the one thing I hate most, if I know this is a bad movie and I'm really strong about my opinion, that's one thing. But if I'm making you guys miss out on a really good movie, I don't want that. I just want a review so I can warn and comment. That's it. I want you guys to see a good movie. I really do. All my viewers. But this is a 7 at the most. If you can't see this in IMAX, okay? I heard it's really good. I didn't see it in IMAX. I really wanted to. I mean, I expected, when I first saw the trailers for this, I expected this to be like a special effects paradise. But, it had some story. It had a lot of story to it, too. And I really wanted to see this in IMAX. So if you can't see it in IMAX, it's not sold out. Like mine was. Next thing, okay, now sci-fi review. Sci-fi rating. Okay, Star Trek, you have a 7 at the most. Now sci-fi. For a sci-fi movie, this was an 8.5. So if you're looking for... Now the purpose of the movie was to revive the whole franchise. So if you're looking to... If you've never seen Star Trek before, this is a great introduction. So I think it's worth checking out. But... for visuals and everything. But if you're a Star Trek fan... like a die-hard, maybe I think you should see this, because I found myself enjoying the movie, although it had some flaws. That's why I'm giving it a 7. I'm gonna probably see this again. Okay, 6.5, about 7 for Star Trek rating, and 8.5 for sci-fi. Okay, this is the Tame Dave Movie Knave tuning out. Sorry for the long review. Hopefully you can watch. Hopefully you'll see all of it without getting bored. Thanks for listening.